Hey, how you guys been doing? It's been a while, huh? But nah, let me not make things awkward. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the. I can't even speak. Welcome back to another episode of the Relaxing Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Digital Relaxation, and it's been a while. I know I did upload an episode in January for the New Year wrap up, but this is technically the first episode that's being recorded of the new year. And we already a month past. So yeah, you guys like what you hear and what you're gonna hear. Please be sure to share and rate, and let's try to revive this podcast if it did not die in the month of being absent. But yeah, I'm back. And I mean, I'll kind of get more into a different perspective of this, but for the most part, it wasn't really my choice to be away. It was just things that was happening, starting with a domino effect on, I mean, you can say it was my health, but it wasn't like my whole body was sick. It was mainly I got a sore throat because the weather shifted 1 week, and I guess it caught me off guard. Probably because I was sleeping without my heater on one night because it was like fairly warm all week, and then the next day after it just got cold, and yeah, woke up to that. So I woke up with a sore throat, but for some reason this sore throat took a lot longer to go away. Like I had it for like a good week, so I couldn't even record a podcast because my throat was like dead. Then from there, I started suffering nosebleeds from both my nose. Because the air was so dry. So I was just sitting there, like I was just walking while I was working, and my nose just started bleeding from both nose. But then it calmed down for a little bit, but then it wasn't until like when I started going to sleep, my nose would bleed more heavily when I'm going to sleep. Like it would be calm throughout the day, but every time I go to sleep, it would start bleeding. And the problem with that was that I guess because I was laying back, most of the blood was going back, through my nose, but some of it I guess went through the passage that connects to my ear, and I ended up waking up the next day with my left ear being closed. So for like a few weeks I was dealing with nosebleeds and not being able to hear through my left ear. So I was just not in the mood to do anything. I mean, I don't want to talk bad on like people's profession, but this is like I have like a distrust with like the health system because I always tend to notice that every time I go to like something for my health, whether it's just a dentist or some checkup or something with if I'm sick or whatever, that things that weren't an issue before becomes an issue after I leave the place. And it feels like, I don't know if it's like it's intentional so that they can keep bringing me back. So obviously they can keep getting money from me, but it's like things that wasn't wrong all like for like a long time, and then one time I thought, hey, let me go check on myself, and next thing I start having a lot of health issues, and I'm like, bro, like I was fine before I went to you guys. So yeah, but I went to schedule to go see an ear doctor. So brief history on my ear. I've had my I had ear infections. I'm considering this as well as another ear infection. I had them twice on both ears separately, and each time I went to go get them checked out, usually the procedure was something simple. Like they would usually like vacuum out whatever's blocking out my air and give me whatever prescription or medicine I should use. The first time I went, they gave me an ear drops, which I kind of felt like that did not help. I don't know, it just felt weird because it's like just because you got to put the ear drops in your ear and then you got to lay down with like the side that you have the airdrops in up, and it's just like you just sitting there with like all this liquid just sitting in your ear and you can't hear nothing through one side of the ear. So you just sitting there like deaf with a bunch of liquid in your ear. So it was uncomfortable, and I felt like that was the longest, that took long to recover. The next time it happened, same procedure, got it vacuumed out. But this guy decides the issue was it's not so much because they usually say, oh, they consider it like you have swimmer ears. Like if you've been going through the water a lot, then the water will get into your ear and it'll give you an infection. But I told him like, nah, I haven't really been going, because it was like during the summer. I'm like, nah, I haven't really been going to no pools or nothing like that. So it couldn't be that. So the second guy was like, oh, it's most likely a nasal thing, because, realizing that there's actually a passage from your nose to your ear that's connected. So he gave me a nasal spray, and that actually did the trick. And there's been times where I felt like something was going on in my ear, and I would use the spray, and it would be cool after that before it even got serious. So a few years later, this situation happens, and this is my first time going to an ear doctor where I live at now. So I'm assuming that the procedure would be the same, but I go there and the dude just basically just looks in my ear, and they gave me a hearing test. And then he just prescribed me meds and said, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, bro, you did not even do anything. So, and then I got fucking charged with a big bill. Like, bro. So, and on top of that, I did not take the meds because you already know how I'm feeling about taking drugs, like stuff like that just being option one. Like, I'm good on that. So I just been letting my ear just naturally open up on its own and whatnot, which for the most part it is open. Like I can now finally hear everything. Just slight popping that's going through my ear like throughout the day. But other than that, my ear is fine. But yeah, so that's why I have not been able to record. And yeah, that's quote unquote health issues. But I'm also going to get into another perspective on that later. But as for the next section of what I've been up to since the last episode and since the new year has started, aside from dealing with my ear and everything else with my head, honestly, because of that, not much. Because I just wasn't in the mood to do anything because I can't hear stuff, so listening to music was annoying. Watching stuff where I can only hear things on one side, and the problem is that I like to lay down on one side, and that's the side that's like my good air is being covered by the pillow, so my bad air is what's up and I can't hear nothing. So like even watching stuff was uncomfortable at times. And the problem was that they said like it's best to lay down with that air up instead of being down, so it relieves the pressure up. So it was like, so yeah, but you know, slight stuff. Started with the anime section. I decided to finally, I don't want to say finally, but I decided to rewatch One Piece from the start and catch all the way back up. Now, that was my original intention, that I was going to start from the beginning and catch all the way back up to now. But I started thinking about some other arcs and whatnot. And I think after the time skip, I'm going to skip straight to Whole Cake Island. Because Fishman Island was alright. The message was cool, but I don't know. I felt like that arc was like, it didn't do much for the Straw Hats. But and then Punk Hazard is cool. I feel like Punk Hazard and Fishman suffered like similar fates, where like the villains were actually pretty easy. So it wasn't. We ain't really get much struggle until we got to Dressrosa, and that was kind of a forced thing as well because the crew got separated, and this is the first time when they did like a whole arc where half the Straw Hats was not present. But the only reason why I'm not gonna watch Dressrosa is because not so much of a PTSD, but it's like I remember Dressrosa because that arc was long, and I'm referring to the manga because that's when I started reading the manga. I started reading the manga in One Piece like at the end of Punk Hazard, starting Dressrosa. I did my entire college in Dressrosa. So that was a long time, bro. I don't want to go through Dressrosa again. So and I did not watch, and I never watched Whole Cake Island as an anime. Cause like I said, I've been reading the manga since the end of Punk Hazard till current. So I have not seen Whole Cake Island as a whole as an anime. I just watched the Katakuri fight and some Wano clips here, but I've been holding off on some Wano clips because I want to watch it in totality. And that's one of the reasons why I started all over again, because I just want to catch up and just watch Wano in one shot to where we are now, because I know where we're getting up to in the anime currently. So I'm trying to catch up to that. So as of right this moment, I am starting Thriller Bark. We just finished the CP9 and his lobby arc. Frankie is in the crew. Robin came back. Usopp came back. We got a new ship, and we just met Brooke. So we are now in Thriller Bark. So that's where I'm at currently. There's been some manga I've been reading as well that actually finished. I don't know if I want to talk about them because, yeah, I'll be watching some, not watching, reading some questionable things now. I'm still, what is one of them? I don't know why I read this one. Where did I put it? I don't, these names, bro. I don't think there's an English name for this one. I'm not even gonna try. But it's a manga story about these childhood friends that I think they kind of liked each other when they were young, but as they got older, things got weird. But when they was young, they had an incident with a witch or something like that, where they kind of made a promise to a witch about they had to like cause she was like testing, cause you think you really love this girl, so I'm gonna put like a spell on you guys, like if you don't fulfill your love destiny, I guess, or whatever. And I don't know, it's a weird story, but that one's over. The other weird one is, I don't know what it is with Japan and the age gap relationships, because, well, I don't know, I'm not gonna sit there and try to act like I know what's the right ages over there, but it's a story of a grown woman in her late 20s, but she has a young look to her, kinda, and she likes to cosplay. So she was cosplaying as a like a high school girl, like, so she was dressed up in like high school uniform, and the main character, the dude who actually is a high school student, saw her and, you know, basically crushing on her. You're like, oh, I wonder what school she goes to, and see her again, only to find out that the next time he saw her, she was like, no, she was in her business attire. She's a full-fledged working woman. So despite the situation, he still decides to shoot his shot, and she kind of went with it. And it's the whole struggle of dealing with being in a relationship with a huge age gap, and, you know, how friends and family would react to this relationship and keeping things a secret. But as time progressed, their friends started to know about each other's relationship, and, you know, they were accepting of it. And then towards the end, where things got weird, I don't know how I feel about the ending, but he was gonna tell he wasn't gonna tell, he invited her over to his place, and because, you know, he thought he had the place himself, but his sister came home early, his older sister, and she was like, you know, like, they told her about the relationship, and she pretended like she was kind of like putting her through a test to see if, like, she approved of the relationship or whatnot. But I think she kind of approved of it regardless, but she just wants to mess with her. But she did something that was familiar, and we got in flashbacks of this situation, but now that we got context of it. So the main girl, when she was young, when she was in school, she had a teacher who would teach her, like, cooking stuff. She would teach her how to cook and whatnot. She would talk about her relationships with her husband and whatnot, and, like, how, despite how she acts immature and whatnot, but at the same time, like, you know, being an adult, like, how to juggle both. And that's kind of how she modeled her life, because, like I said, she cosplay and she's into, like, things that adults, quote unquote, shouldn't be interested in. Like, she played video games still and all of that. Like, she's not really into wanting to be an adult, but she's just doing it. So we end up finding out that because she wanted to see her again, but it turns out, but she ended up not being able to see her again for some reason, until we found out that that woman who was her teacher was actually the mother of our main character, the dude, and she actually passed away not long ago when, like, she was still young, like, after she had her son, because he doesn't remember much about her. So it was like, and she told them about her son, that was a promise that she made, like, the next time they see each other again, she wants to hold her son and meet him. And like, at the end, she, like, fulfilled her promise by hugging him. Like, I'm like, bro, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, like, you're dating a dude that, yeah, like the age gap, something, like, depending on, like, what the ages are, the age gap might not matter. But then it's like, when it's put in perspective, it's like, you heard about this dude, like, as a toddler while you was, like, a young kid, like looked like she was probably in middle school. And now you're dating him. It's like, I don't know, bro. Japan's weird. But there's still others that I'm still reading, but nothing has been done yet. But that's about it for anime and manga. Film and TV. The Last of Us, the show has started since the new year has begun. We are currently 4 episodes in. I think there's only 9 episodes in the season. The show is, basically a retelling of the video game. I do like that they are putting twists and spins on things and elaborating more on like side stories that usually like probably read in notes or whatnot throughout the games. Like they actually like flushing it out more. They kind of, I think, I can't be 100% sure, but I feel like they kind of changed the origin of how the fungus infection began. I think they completely got rid of spores. If I'm not mistaken, I think they said they got rid of spores because they don't want to do scenes where they just put them in masks like the whole time. So that's changed. But other than that, I mean, the show's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. Just seeing where this goes in terms of, because they already got greenlit for a second season. So now that we know that there's a second season, the question is how this one's going to end and where's the next one going to pick up. I was hearing some people talk about the best way, because if they're going to go up to The Last of Us 2, which received a lot of flack for their storytelling. People didn't like the storytelling. People didn't like the new characters. This show can save it if they tell the story in chronological order, meaning all the flashbacks that they forced into the game that was like kind of like killing the mood of things that happen and like, oh, something crazy just happened, flashback. They should focus the second season, like so depending on where it ends, on developing these characters so that when we get to the story of The Last of Us Part 2, we already have these characters fleshed out now. So now we do have an attachment to these characters. But you don't know. We'll see. I did take a break from The Wire since my air situation started happening, and I didn't pick it back up because of One Piece. I just got addicted to watching One Piece. Speaking of One Piece, the live action, I believe it is coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken. They already got promotional pictures up. I don't know. I mean, I'm indifferent on live actions of animes. Like, some have been cool, some been trash. So, and the fact that Oda is behind this one, I got a little more hope that I just want it to be decent. Like, it doesn't have to be like, crazy. I just want it to be decent. Like The Last of Us. The Last of Us is decent. Well, I say The Last of Us is above decent, but it's decent. It's a good watch. It won't ruin any experience for you. It won't make you be like, oh man, the game did this better or whatever. I don't know. So the only thing I'm wondering about is more so, I guess, CGI, I guess, because Luffy gonna be stretching all over the place, and then how y'all gonna CGI him doing his stretching abilities, but more so doing like the Gatling gun, which is like a flurry of punches. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. But yeah, One Piece. Recently, the Royal Rumble WWE happened. We had a little watch party at my place. Had a few people come over. We watched the Royal Rumble, had a good time, ordered some pizza. And yeah, the Royal Rumble was always my personal favorite pay-per-view. I know WrestleMania is usually, it's the big one, but I love the Royal Rumble because of the Royal Rumble match, of course. But this one was amazing because, I mean, there was one match that we could have done without. But the Royal Rumble matches, mainly the females was alright, but I feel like the most of the females I didn't know. Because I'm not a 100% follower of WWE. I just I watch mainly highlights and clips of like the shows to see what storylines is happening. But most of the women were like from NXT or something, so I had no clue who most of them were. So aside from not knowing who it was, the match was decent though. But the match was dope. And then they ended it off with one of the best storytelling for WWE, with the Bloodline storyline and Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns and what happened there. That was amazing. But yeah, had a good time watching that. We might do another one for the WrestleMania. So see how that goes. But yeah. Next up, we got our good old gaming. Still slowly playing Cyberpunk since the last episode. Like I said, I'm taking my time with this one because usually my male Vs, I like there's always something wrong with playing my male Vs. So this one I'm trying to take my time with and actually flush out playing with him more. I did all of the beat 'em up side stories, which is when you basically do your street fights and then you do like that final boxing fight. I did all of Pan Am missions, of course, because she's priority number one. Judy called, so I guess I'm gonna be doing her missions soon. I've barely been doing the main missions, honestly. Where am I in the main story? I did the Voodoo Boys storyline. That's done. But for Takamura, what was the last thing? Oh, I think the last thing I did, we met his friend, which I think that's technically like the second thing you do with him. So I'm still early on the Takamura storyline. So yeah, I'm just taking my time, just playing the game, getting my build up. I kind of got my guy like David from the anime, so I got the Sand Devastan, so I slow down time and I mainly use a blunt weapon. Sometimes I use LMG, and I got a shotgun as well. I have a Rebecca shotgun, but I'm saving that for someone particular. But yeah, that's mainly it. But since actually I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna put this one on the last because I have more to say about this kind of. But there's been a lot of releases and a lot of upcoming releases. Like I said, this year for gaming and entertainment as a whole, it's just like I said, there should be no reason why anybody should be bored with anything they're doing in terms of your hobbies, because this year is looking good. GoldenEye. This one snuck because, like I said, I was dealing with my issues and nobody said anything to me. Barely people was covering it on YouTube. I saw like one video on YouTube about GoldenEye. I'm like, but it was a Nintendo video, so I thought just the Nintendo version came out and not the Xbox version. Not knowing that they both came out, but the GoldenEye release or re-release port, whatever you want to call it, came out, and of course I got it on Xbox on the Game Pass. And bruh, I'm gonna go with the negative first because it's whatever. It's minor for me. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos of people just trashing the game, like, bro, this is like the worst port ever. Like, just play the other version or whatever. It ain't that serious. The main issues with the game is there's some texture clipping and some frame rate dropping. That's about it. It ain't that serious. The only bad, I won't care about the texture clipping. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is the frame rate drop, more so for the speedrun community, because GoldenEye was like the first game I started watching speedruns when I started getting into watching speedrunners on Twitch. GoldenEye was one of the first games I was watching. So, seeing these dudes still playing on old hardware, speedrunning and whatnot, like, so it'd been nice to know now they got modern, they can use their modern consoles to play this. But the freaking frame rate drop and the control is kind of, I don't want to say it's stiff, but because, with the 64 had one analog stick, you gotta remember that. So when you're playing with the Xbox, now you're playing with dual analog. So it's kind of different. But you can actually adjust the sensitivity, your look sensitivity. But yeah, like the frame rate drop is, you try to speed run, but then your character starts moving slowly because the frame rate dropping. That kind of ruins the whole point of speed running. So that kind of sucks for the speed run community. That's the only thing I'm disappointed in. But for me personally, bruh, I was playing that game like it was the first time I played it again. I was in love. I sat there and beat the entire game on all the difficulties, bruh. I was loving it. The only main thing I would say for me, my personal negative, would be that for whatever reason they decide to only have online multiplayer on the Switch version. I don't know why, but yeah, you can only play online on Switch. If you want to do multiplayer on Xbox, it's old school couch style, right next to each other, screen watching. So that's that. But don't get it twisted, bro. If you still want to have a fun, nostalgic time, like especially if you grew up on this game, for me, this is big for me because GoldenEye is, it's complicated, but when I go to technicalities, GoldenEye is my first video game ever. Going into technicalities, if you want to be real specific, because I have an older brother and he owned a gaming console before I knew what a gaming console was. And for like a short period of my life, the only game I played was on the PlayStation 1 was Crash Bandicoot. And I had zero clue what happens to the PlayStation 1. But then we got the 64 and GoldenEye, and which to this day I still have my 64 and I still have my GoldenEye. The only problem is that I do not have an adapter or a TV that I can run it, so it's nice to have it on my Xbox whenever I want to play it again. And yeah, like I said, I sat there and ran through the whole game on all the difficulties, like stressing. Got the secret levels. I was thinking about like 100% in it, but some of the achievements require multiplayer, so I'm satisfied with knowing that I beat in every level on every difficulty, and I'll leave it at that. I downloaded Hi-Fi Rush. I'm going to play that after I'm done with this game that I'm going to talk about soon. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. I haven't really been paying attention to it, but hearing a lot of good things about it, so I'm going to play that after this game. And see how that goes. But what's about to come out soon, or if you are a cool YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, you are already playing it now, which I already saw on when I went on Twitch last. I already saw let me see, I can check right now. There was like 4 people I saw streaming playing Well, people stop streaming now, but there was like 4 people playing Hogwarts Legacy. So that game is officially coming out on the 10th, so Friday. But a lot of people got the early copies, whatever. I just been interested in the whole division with the community, because there's one whole community that's like, man, ban this game, don't support it because of the author of the book, and a lot of people was like, bruh, like the author don't even really have anything to do with this game. But like, we're not gonna ban this game. But I also been noticing, like on my TikTok, I don't know if it's just the algorithm or whatever, but every time I'm seeing Hogwarts Legacy content on TikTok, I notice that there's a lot of black people supporting this game, and really excited for this game. There's even one person I know who's like excited because like this is a game they've been waiting for all their lives. But I'm just like, how it's like we just straight up hijacked this whole franchise. Cause like usually when you think about like Harry Potter, who's like really mainly the core fan base, like, you know. But yeah, I'm just interested in how the community is divided. I may pick it up, but like I said, I'm 2 games behind right now. So if I do pick it up, it won't probably be till like the end of the month or maybe next month, depending on how long it's gonna take me to finish everything else. So I won't be able to really talk about it till then. But this next game I can talk about a little bit more, because this game was on my anticipated list since I first seen the reveal trailer 2 years ago, when Square Enix had a little conference and they showed like a good 30-second clip of Forspoken, and I was like, bruh, this game looks dope. Then I was kind of scared because I thought it was a PS5 only exclusive. It's a PS5 console exclusive, but it is also available on the PC. So I was like, oh, this chance I'll have to sit there and go hunting for a PS5, which I almost could have got one, but but then there's been a lot of backlash on the game. The demo came out. People were having complaints about the game. One complaint was like, oh, the combat's weird. Next complaint, oh, the world is empty and dead. And I have my personal theory on what they really complaining about. But yeah, and then the PC specs got revealed, and people were like, hold on, like these are high specs that you're asking for, but what we're getting for is like 720p 30 frames per second, and it's like they want you to have like this super strong rig just for that. So a lot of people are like, bro, like, is this game even optimized? So the game was getting a lot of bad press before it even came out, and then when the game came out, everyone was finding more stuff to nitpick about, like, oh, the world is empty, it wasn't just a demo, the dialogue is cringe, she cursed too much, and whatever. But I got the game. I don't know how far I don't think the game is long, but I'm gonna get into all of that. So I got the game Forspoken. Yeah, and the good and the bad. I guess I'll get into the bad first, since you know everybody likes to talk about the bad. The bad about this game is, yeah, I think the world is pretty empty. I equate this game in terms of its open world to being like Sonic Frontiers. Like the open world is just there. You can do stuff, but it's not important, if that makes sense. Like the game, I think this game would have probably worked well if it was like a more linear open world story. Like, cause they're like, oh, you gotta go and do this, and then they open the map and show you where it's at, and it's like, bro, that's like 10 miles away. Like, what the heck? Like, and you want me just to run over there? So it's like, and then it's like, depending on what kind of gamer you are, like if you want to like increase your stats, because there's a skill tree and you learn different elements. Like I know it's like if you're gonna beat different, like I just recently got the fire element along with my earth element, so it's like you level up your earth element, then you get the fire element, then you gotta level that up. So it's kind of forcing you to explore the open world. But like I said, it's like, it's not a lot that's enticing in the open world. It's not like, because the story is like, oh, if you go out into like, if you leave the city and you go out into the open world, the corruption will come and it basically just kills people, or it mutates them into like these zombies and creatures or whatever. So you can't run into NPCs outside and like, you know, let me do a side quest for you and whatever. So there's no NPCs outside. There's just you and a bunch of wild creatures and zombies whenever you're walking around. And then there's some challenges here and there, like, oh, you want to open this chest, you gotta defeat all the enemies. You want a new, cause the way this game mechanic works, there's a lot of things for like building your stats, along with your skill tree and your element powers. Frey, she wears a cape in the game, and you can unlock more capes, and each cape has like more stats, whatever, like gives you more health or gives you more magic power. So you can do quests that unlocks new capes. There's another one where it's like her nail style, like she can paint her nails a certain way, and depending on what nail paint you use on each hand, those give you certain boosts in your stats as well. Is there something else? There's the your necklace as well. You get different necklace, and the same thing, they give you different stats in your boosts, and then you can actually just boost up everything individually. So it's a lot. The game, the way the game works, it wants you to explore the open world. It wants you to grind your level up. It wants you to gain XP so you can get stronger and whatnot. But like the problem is like this, the stuff that they want you to do, like only some of it is really cool. The other one is just like, it's just there. Like, I don't know. I think they should have did better side stories or side missions to make it more fun. And my personal gripe is because I'm playing on my PC. Playing on mouse and keyboard is kind of a struggle for me with this game because they want you to do a lot. And I would use my controller, but I use my Xbox controller, but the problem is like when I plug it into the wire always gets loose, and that's annoying when playing the game. And if you use it the Bluetooth way, there's always a input delay. I don't know why. So I just gave up on using controller, and I'm just duking it out with mouse and keyboard, which I'm getting the hang of it now. But at the beginning, I was struggling. Like I was doing the boss fight, and I'm like, my hand is all over the key. I'm like, oh, I'm not even on the movement keys. I'm like, why she not moving? I'm over here panicking. So yeah. Don't panic when you play this game on mouse and keyboard. Your hands are gonna be all over the keys. Another bad. What I want to say. I don't know. Oh, I don't think the dialogue is bad or cringy or whatever. I think that's just a personal preference, honestly. There's been times where I actually enjoyed her dialogue, but my problem is the execution and their acting is not good. Their face, like their face motions and whatnot don't match how they what the words they're saying. Like her face be looking real like still and dead, but like she's like talking in a way where she should like probably have some kind of angry face or something, but her face just be dead. And same with other characters, like I don't like their face just don't match with like the emotion of what they speaking. So it makes it hard for you to engage in how the characters feel, because it looks like they don't feel nothing. There's that. The beginning of like the first probably hour of the game is cutscene heavy. So like before you even start really exploring the game and playing the game, you're like everything you do is a cutscene. Here, walk a few steps, cutscene there, walk a few steps, cutscene there. There was a whole lot of cutscenes. I felt like, and that's my thing about not even this game, but like most games in general. Like these games can't decide if they want to be a movie or if they want to be a video game. This game suffers from that. And it doesn't, like, it's too busy want to be a movie, like instead of just being a game. Like I said, again, the emotion. There's a scene beginning of the game where Frey like gets close with a character, and then something happens to the character, and it's like the emotion is not there. Like she's like, oh, I'm upset about this, or I'm sad about this, but it's like the time spent with that character doesn't feel like it's warranted you to do the stuff that you're doing. So like I don't know, like some of it was rushed, some of it wasn't. Then the not properly executing the acting or the expressions and whatnot. I felt like that fell short, but yeah. Other negatives, I don't think I really have any other negatives. This one, well, I have a positive / negative, but I would probably lean towards more positive on this one. For positives, the gameplay is dope. It's not bad at all. Once you get the hang of your spells and which spells you're gonna like frequently use, because you can only use like this is like there's a big skill tree and you can unlock a lot of moves, but they only allow you to use 2 specific moves, one for each right click and left click. Where one move is like your main attack move and the second move is kind of like a support attack move. So you can only choose one of each. So whatever one you're gonna master, figure it out so you can like start doing that. But yeah, like once you do that and then finding, I guess maybe your favorite element. Like right now so far, like I just unlocked fire and I'm kind of not liking it. I thought I was gonna like it, but I'm not really liking it. I'm like, cause like most of the enemies is kind of like just like slapping me around, because it forces you to have close combat compared to their nature. It's actually more range. So they all have different styles. So if you have a style of how you like to play, maybe certain elements may work for you, some might not. The mobility, of course, that was like the main focus of the game since they first like announced the game. That was like the first thing they showed was her running around the open field. Like cause she knows parkour, so now she has like super speed. Of course it's limited, you gotta upgrade your stamina so you can run longer, but then there's the point where you unlock your fire, and like there's gonna be these things that you're gonna see them early in the game, and you can't interact with them until you unlock the fire. But she essentially becomes Spider-Man. Like she can swing from like these little points, and then she can grapple up on these rocks to get to higher mountain points that usually have like treasure chests on them. There's a crafting system. You can you collect a lot of loot and craft certain things, craft healing items, craft upgrades for your cape or your necklace or whatever. So yeah, the movement is cool. The combat is good once you figure out what skills you're going to use and what element suits you. There's a lot, so don't get intimidated by seeing a lot. Just find what works for you and just master it, honestly. But yeah, speaking of that, one thing that was my concern was cause the performance, because my PC, well, mainly it's my CPU that's it's not up to par of what the specs require. So I didn't think my PC would run it, but I got the demo before I got the game just to see how it runs, because I was going to decide if I would get the game or not. And to be honest, the game actually runs fine. To be honest, the game actually runs a lot better than I thought it would. It runs pretty smooth. There's some moments here and there where there's when there's a lot on the screen, that I have some frame drops, but other than that, the game kind of runs good. The only thing I noticed, I don't know if it's just my PC or whatnot, but there is like some texture, because I do have it on performance mode, but there's like some texture, like they're not detailed, despite I have everything on high, but it's not coming up as like very detailed. So I don't know what's the situation is with that. I don't know if it's like, even though I put it on high, the game is recognizing that maybe it shouldn't display as high because of maybe my CPU or whatever. So that's just a weird thing. But full honest opinion as of this moment, this game, if you're on the fence about it or whatnot, get the game when the price drops, if it's on sale or something. I do not think this game is worth its full price, despite as much as I was anticipating this game and how much I wanted it to succeed. Like, it's a great idea, just the execution is mid. This is for me personally, as of right now, this is a very like mid game, and not saying that as a bad thing. Like, it's just down the middle. Like, it doesn't do a lot to blow you out the water, but it's not a terrible game. Don't let the people who's like bashing the game to trash like sway you. Like, it's not bad at any means. It's just the execution wasn't top notch. That's it. But yeah, gaming. And last but not least, music. Because of my ear situation, of course, obviously I wasn't listening to anything new. I don't even know if anything new even happened. But just recently, the Grammys happened. Or was that yesterday? The Grammys happened. And of course, the only thing I care about is the hip hop. So that's all I'm going to talk about. But Kendrick has one rap album, and he actually also run one rap song with The Heart Part 5. So congrats to Kendrick on getting those 2 Grammys. This one was shocking, but Robert Glasper won R&B album. And of course Chris Brown got tight about it at first. He didn't know who Robert Glasper was. But shocked because I listened to Black Radio 1 and 2, I thought Black Radio 3 came out. I don't want to say last year, but you know what I mean by last year, 2021. I thought that's when that came out, but apparently, I guess it must have came out last year. Let me see. I did not hear this one, sadly enough, too. It actually did came. It came out February last year, so it was like first thing. But yeah. Congrats, like I said, congrats, because I like Black Radio 1 and 2 a lot. I just haven't gotten to listen to the third one. But yeah, congrats to Robert Glasper for winning that Grammy. Like, even the first song on Denzel's Curry album that came out last year, Robert Glasper produced that song. Robert Glasper is mostly a producer, so what Black Radio usually is a compilation of different rappers and soul singers, basically doing songs off of his production. So the first one had Erykah Badu, Mos Def, Lupe Fiasco, Music Soul Child. I think the second one had Snoop Dogg on it, and I think Lupe made a appearance. So I think they both did a song together. I'm looking at this one now. Common was on it. Music Soul Child was on this. BJ the Chicago Kid, Ty Dolla $ign, Jennifer Hudson, Q-Tip. So some more seasoned people, some more current people in here. But yeah, I didn't know this came out like that last year. I thought it came out in 2021. So congrats to them again. Slick Rick was given a Lifetime Achievement Award along with Bobby McFerrin and other people, but going with the categories of people I know. The only reason why I'm highlighting Bobby McFerrin, if you don't know who Bobby McFerrin is, he's most known for, I believe he made the Don't Worry, Be Happy song. But more so the reason why I'm highlighting Bobby McFerrin for me, because of I'm in love with his daughter's music, Madison McFerrin. She is more of a, how would I want to say a soul singer, neo soul singer, but it's like experimental. Like, she likes to experiment with different vocal ranges in her music. And she would sometimes like layer them as well. That's kind of like her, I don't know, just like her thing. But like, I recently have like straight up fell in love with her music. I have her vinyl of her project, You and I. So nice to see that her dad got the achievement. And Slick Rick, hip hop. As not that long ago, before my ear situation happened, I actually went back and listened to his first album again. And yeah, man, just that first song, The Ruler's Back, man. Song is dope. The beat is dope. But everything else, Hey Young World, Teenage Love, of course, Children's Story. So classic. Dr. Dre won Global Impact. I don't know. I did not watch the Grammys, just like I know. I'm just going down who won stuff, mainly for the culture. I don't know if there was other people running for him, or if they just awarded it to him. So I don't know the situation of how that one worked, but Dr. Dre got it. But more importantly, this year we are celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Well, the 50 years of acknowledged hip hop. Hip hop, of course, been going on a lot longer than that, but we acknowledging it for 50 years. And they did a 50-year hip hop performance that went from Grandmaster Flash and Nefarious 5 all the way down to Little Baby and Little Uzi Vert. Like, they just went down like a good chunk of timeline of hip hop from, you know, the birth to the most recent. So just a bunch of LL Cool J, Black Thought, Method Man, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Busta Rhymes. I said Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby. I don't want to get this person wrong. I don't really listen to her. Where's this? I have this list here. Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, Run DMC, Salt and Pepper, Public Enemy, Rakim, the dude from De La Soul, only one of them appeared. Scarface, Ice-T, Method Man, Big Boy, Missy Elliott, Nelly, Too Short, Swiss Beats and the Locks, Glorilla. That's who I didn't want to mess her up. Lil Baby, Glorilla, and Lil Uzi Vert ends it all. But yeah, like just going down from the beginning to right now. And so that's just a good moment of, hip hop celebration, which is great because, I don't want no more of that, man, the old heads trying to hold us back, or man, these young rappers these days. Like, let's just celebrate the culture that we all love and that's putting us in the position in our lives that we are in. But also with hip hop, the DJ Khaled God Did performance, which I personally don't care for DJ Khaled, but the performance was dope. Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, and Jay-Z sitting there rapping for like 6 minutes straight, sitting at a table. So yeah, man, hip hop, baby, be here. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's it, man. That's just about what I've been up to. If I forgot anything, because it has been a month, then I forgot. But that's mainly what I've been up to. But yeah. So I also want to talk about, I don't really have much of a main topic because it's been so long since I did this, recorded this podcast, and like getting back into the groove. So this is just my getting back into the groove episode. Hopefully the next one will be more better. But every time I go through struggles or obstacles in life, I always tend to try to look at it as a lesson that I'm being taught and shown, and see if I learned the lesson or what perspective of the lesson I learned. So, dealing with the whole having my ear closed and not hearing stuff and whatnot, and caused my throat. So taking time, I guess it was like, I got kind of forced into just take a break from your podcast type thing. Well, I took a break from kind of everything for the most part. Like, I wasn't, just like I said, it was hard for me to enjoy a lot of things because I just couldn't hear stuff. Like if I'm playing the game for a little bit, then it's like, it gets weird because I can't use my headphones because I only want to put it in one ear. So then I'll just use the speaker, but then even that, just one ear. If I'm watching something, I'll lay down on the ear, but I'm laying down on the good ear, so I can't properly hear because the bad ear is the ear that's exposed. So it just I guess just taking the time to just sit and relax, I guess. That's what I'm getting out of it. Just take my time and just relax. Don't have to force things because, I do want to stick to my schedule and whatnot, but, of course, if I need to take a break, I'll take a break. I don't want to force episodes, but at the same time, I enjoy talking and getting things out because that's, keep things out my head and out my chest so I can just, get all the clutter out and focus on something new and focus on something different. So that's mainly been it for the most part. Just reevaluating myself and getting myself situated again and, rebooting myself so I can properly start this year off right. And yeah, man, just getting back into it. My body is healing. My ear is healing. I can, enjoy things more now. Enjoying watching One Piece, enjoying playing some games. And that's it, man. Enjoy your lives. Don't trip on a lot of things. Don't trip on things that's not, that's out of your control. Like you can't directly influence something. Don't trip on it. Just gotta enjoy our lives and enjoy what we have and what we're able to do with our health. And yeah, that's about it. I'm not gonna ramble and force stuff. Went over an hour, not bad. But yeah, getting back into shape. So hopefully, get back into grind, get back into doing some episodes. We finally hitting 60. But yeah, man, as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, enjoy the return of greatness, please be sure to share this podcast. As always, rate it 5 stars. You can rate it Apple and Spotify. And yeah, till next time, hope you guys have a great day and a great week. Until next episode, peace.